welcome to a new week. Forgive the laundry behind me, you might be able to hear the rain. So it's not a day for drying outside. Anyway, we've had a very irritating 2023 so far in terms of cars. I haven't gone into detail because, you know, we all have these sorts of issues going on in our lives, and I want this to be a sort of uplifting place, but I do also want it to be realistic. And it just seems like we haven't had a week together where both of our cars have been here. And things came to a head when Will's car basically died. He was driving it to work, it started making a strange noise, it was towed away, they started it up, the engine seized. It was going to cost over $10,000 to replace the engine. The car's probably worth about $200, so financially it didn't make any sense to do that. There weren't any second-hand cars that we wanted that were within that price range, so we've bought a new car. And I am waiting for Will for us to go and collect it. There weren't any cars that close to us, so we're going to another town, which is 3 hours drive away, to pick up a new car in the rain. It's just one of those things where just everything that could go wrong seems to have been going wrong. Just one thing after another with our cars so far. They were both second-hand. They both came from Will's family. We got them both at a very, very reasonable price, so no complaints there. But Will's car's done over 300,000 kilometres, and the car I drive just isn't appropriate for this environment. Here we go. So it's a few days later, and I thought I'd quickly introduce you to our new car. I'm not going to dwell on it, and I'm certainly not meaning to boast, but you're going to see it in the background, and I thought I'd just quickly give you an overview. It probably looks huge to you, but my old car, the Barina, if I put it side by side, is actually pretty comparable. It's not as big as it looks. It's a Suzuki Vitara. It's the base model. We wanted the basic model because the next models up come with all sorts of features that we don't agree with, like windscreen wipers that decide how fast they want to go themselves, lane assist, which means it sort of drags you back into the road if it feels like you're drifting, all kinds of stuff that we think actually is more irritating than helpful. So luckily for us, meant it was cheaper. It's in this lovely gold colour, which is actually more fetching than it might look. I like this. It gave me sort of Range Rover vibes when I saw it at the forecourt. We had no idea sort of the car we were looking for, and we just stumbled upon this by chance, but I really liked it, and I will primarily be the person driving it. It's an automatic, which is my preference for my day-to-day driver. It's got this cool feature where you don't have a key to start it. You just push this button. It can sync up to my mobile phone. It's pretty basic inside, but I don't mind that. And one of the things that's important to us is that it's got a really decent sized boot, and the seats fold back, so giving me even more space. That was one of the downsides about the Barina. I'm primarily responsible for evacuating the house if there's a bushfire. And you may have seen the video where I discuss all the things that I keep in boxes in the spare room and my process for evacuating that, and important clothes and paintings and books. And none of that, no, some of that fitted in the Barina, but I couldn't fit all of it in the Barina plus me plus Vita, because I would normally be here on my own during an evacuation. So because Will's car died, and Will's car's slightly bigger, we thought that it would be a good opportunity to get a slightly bigger car for me that can fit in all the evacuation stuff, which means that if Will's not here and we need to evacuate, I can comfortably evacuate on my own. That was one of the other benefits of getting a new car, the reliability. There's lots of things that are wrong with the Barina, and it's progressively getting worse, even though it hasn't done a lot of kilometres. So this is our solution. If I'm not sounding hugely enthusiastic, it's because I drove it to my physio appointment yesterday, less than 24 hours after picking it up, and this happened. There's a section of road where gravel had been put down. I don't know if they do this in your country. Gravel had been put down as a way of mending the road, and the idea is, I guess, cars drive over it, crush it down, roads mended. And there's a 60km/h limit on that stretch of road, but coming in the opposite direction was a great big lorry, and it wasn't doing 60, and it flicked up lots and lots of gravel, one of which came at speed and hit the windscreen. So yes, less than 24 hours of owning the car, it's already damaged, and suffice it to say, I'm pretty down about that. I know that in the world way worse things than that happen. I don't mean to sort of imply that this is like the worst thing that's ever happened to anyone. I know that it isn't, but it's just like, do you ever go through those periods where it just seems like life wants you to fail? It just kicks you in the teeth again and again and again, and you sort of get to the point where you just can't take it anymore. It's like we solve one problem and then another problem crops up, and then we solve that problem and another problem crops up, and we're just having a run of really bad luck at the moment, and I am so over it. So hopefully we get the windscreen fixed. Obviously the car's in warranty, it won't cost us anything to get it fixed, just the effort of getting the car to the town where they can do that, which isn't that close because we live in the middle of nowhere and we both work. We have things to do, so we need to do the logistics of what cars where and when, and it just becomes very awkward. And anyway, so we'll just have to deal with that and then deal with the next problem which comes along. Anyway, so this is my new car in its semi-perfect state. But I'm very pleased with it. It's beautiful to drive. I don't really know anything about Suzuki's. It's not a mark that I've lusted after. My favourite cars would be a Jaguar. We owned an MX-5 and that was brilliant fun, and maybe one day we'll get another one when we don't have to necessarily worry too much about being overly practical all of the time. But anyway, my new car, fingers crossed, nothing bad more happens to it for a long time. Welcome to a bit of a gloomy morning, but hopefully it'll turn out to be quite a nice day. Clocks go back today, so we're going to be properly into autumn soon. Anyway, you find me at my lemon tree, harvesting lemons, because I'm going to cheer myself up by making some lemon shrub, a variation on the blackberry shrub. You made me, maybe, a variation on the blackberry shrub you watched me make couple of weeks ago. So I'm thinking this is a good candidate, and this will probably take me to what I need. And there we have him. Add into my bowl. I needed a kilo. That's close enough. Here's my haul. I'm not going to go over the whole thing again. Just refer back to the blackberry shrub, if you want further instructions. But what I think I'm going to do with these is I'll juice them, keep the juice aside, then I'm going to simmer up the skins in the water, extract the oils and whatever and the flavour from that, and then I'll strain the water and the juice together, add it to my rum this time, trying it with rum, and then it's the same process of keeping it aside for about 10 days, then cooking it with some sugar, then bottling it. Never made lemon shrub before, so be looking forward to trying this come Wintermas, which is mid-June. I'm back outside at the bathroom wall. As you may have seen previously, I decided that this is a potential culprit for the rats getting in the bathroom, so I filled it all up to prevent that from happening. But we have subsequently still had rats in our bathroom, which is here behind this window. So I've gone back to the drawing board and I thought, well, another potential way they can get in is where there's this gap between the gutter guard and the air bricks. So I bought another length of this brush stuff, which I'm going to put in this gap instead of this gutter guard. They're both gutter guards, the brush type and the wire type. You essentially use them normally, literally for going in the gutter. You can maybe see a bit poking out there, and you may have seen me cleaning out the gutters previously. And the intention of that is to stop leaves getting in the gutter and settling there, because in the summer, in the bushfire season, embers can land on the leaves, which will inevitably be quite dry because it's summer and hot, and then they can go on fire and then they can burn your house down. I also put them around the outside of the house, not so much to stop the rats, but because we do have these air bricks, which means that all sorts of leaves can blow in and under the house, and therefore embers can also get in and under the house too. So essentially this was done to protect the house from going on fire. But a secondary effect is that it also does stop rodents, and I have also seen snakes trying to get under the house. They've got good memories. Anyway, so I'm going to put this down, fingers crossed. We won't get so many rats in the bathroom this winter as we have done previously. There we go, just to quickly show you. Maybe a little bit belt and braces, but as much as I like rats, I also like my wires intact. Now that's done, I can turn my attention to another job, which is planting out my latest batch of new plants in my assorted beds. I've got 2 here, which are going in my hardy geranium bed, which is there, to provide a bit of extra interest. And I've got more, which are going in a combination of the donut bed, which you can just make out there, and my original bed, which is just here. So now I just need to double check where I'm going to put them all and then plant them out. For those of you who are interested, this is what I've got. Sometime later, I've got these plants out. You might notice that I've reverted to these chicken wire cages rather than my stick cages to protect them from primarily the wallabies. And that's simply because, well, there's 2 reasons actually. The first reason is, now that we're coming into autumn winter, I think these plants will be put under a lot more stress from the wallabies, because they'll probably be more attracted to them than they are in summer. So I think they need extra protection. And also, I just happen to have a lot of chicken wire at the moment from where I've been taking down the chicken wire fence around the old orchard. I'll just come down to show you the 2 that I've put in this bed. You might see the plants coming out as I said it would. It'll look more impressive than that in a week or 2 anyway. So I've got those out, I've got those out. See, from this distance I think the chicken wire cages are actually pretty discreet. You can barely see them. Actually, the thing you can mostly see is the sticks that are holding them up. So I don't mind that. They're not too sort of in your face and they're not too distracting. I still have the 2 grasses on the table there to go in the hardy geranium bed, which is behind the bay topiary, but that'll wait till tomorrow. I'm quite pleased with that. It took quite a long time, there was a lot to it, but fingers crossed that in a year or 2 or 3 this will start looking really nice. Chimney sweeping time again. There we go. Ash and soot gathered, ready to go on the compost bins, ready to go in the garden. Range and hearth have been cleaned and polished. Fire's set. All we have to do now is light it. And away we go.